Editing Amy coming in here to say that I'm recovering from my fever, and I really did try to rush this video out before it was like the next day. I was trying to make this for Jim Henson's birthday, but I couldn't make it on time. I'm so sorry. This is a late birthday gift for Jim Henson. As I edit this, it's now currently 12. It's the next day. It's the 25th of September. So I couldn't rush this video on time, but I still hope you enjoy it. I'm back. I'm obviously feeling better from the flu that I had. Not the flu. I had a fever. And I still have a cough occasionally. My nose is stuffy, but my head is all better. There's the cough. So I apologize if I cough throughout this video when I talk or whatever. I also said I wouldn't be able to make... I made a community post saying that I was getting better, but also that I didn't know if I was going to make a video in time for Jim Henson's birthday, which is today. But I figured I could probably make a video very quickly if I spin a wheel. So I went online on my phone, and I put a bunch of Muppet stuff that I was planning on making into a wheel, and I spun it, and this was the result. I was going to talk about it regardless, but I guess destiny was calling for me to talk about Muppet Vision 3D. I've never been to that when I was a kid. I went to Disney once when I was a kid. I don't remember how old I was, but I do remember most of my Disney trip, and I don't remember ever going to Muppet Vision 3D, so there's that. Do you remember our trip to Disney?
Yes.
Did we ever go on a ride called Muppet Vision 3D?
Muppet Vision 3D? I
Yeah.
don't think it was around that time. No?
It was. It's been around since like the
I
80s.
don't think we went on that.
Oh, alright, thanks. As we read the article, it's important to understand two things. We don't know what's going on, and also this article is from August. We're in September now, obviously. We're way deep into September. We're almost done with September, and this article's from August. I should have picked an article from September, but I couldn't be bothered. Look, I'm still recovering from this fever. Y'all need to just calm down. You just need to calm down just a little bit. I'm doing my best here. So in case you guys, like, some of you out there don't know what Muppet Vision 3D is, it's a 3D film featuring, of course, the Muppets. Due to the use of audio animatronics, live full-body Muppet, and other similar effects, the show is sometimes referred to as Muppet Vision 4D, which was used in the Walt Disney World Explorer application, displayed as Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 4D with a slanted red strike through on 3D. It was filmed in soundstage at the Walt Disney Studios in January of 1990 and directed by Jim Henson and written by Bill Prady. The show was one of the final Muppet projects with the involvement of Henson as well as veteran Muppet performer Richard Hunt, and was the last time they performed their characters. Henson died in 1990 before the production of the film was completed, and Richard Hunt died in 1992. If you don't know who Richard Hunt is, he is Scooter, and he did other Muppets too, but he was also in Fraggle Rock. I forgot which character. I'm gonna have to edit in what character he was later, but yeah, Richard has been involved with the Muppets and stuff like that. On August 28th of 1989, Disney announced that they had an agreement in principle to acquire Henson Associates and the Muppet characters, and that a 3D Muppets attraction would debut at the Disney MGM Studios, which is now known as Disney's Hollywood Studios, in the following May. Jim Henson died before the attraction could debut, and as a result, the acquisition was cancelled and the attraction, now known as Muppet Vision 3D, was delayed. An agreement to license the Muppets characters to Disney for the theme park attraction was reached, and it officially opened on May 16th, 1991. The first anniversary of Jim Henson's death. On February 8th of 2001, Muppet Vision 3D debuted as an opening day attraction at Disney California Adventure. The attraction was once sponsored by Kodak upon opening in 1991. However, in 2012, the company declined to renew sponsorship, and by 2013, all references to Kodak were removed. Throughout the attraction's operation at Disney California Adventure, the theater was used to present sneak peeks of movies like Tron Legacy, Frankenweenie, and Oz the Great and Powerful. It's actually a really good movie. Side note, Oz the Great and Powerful. People are just... yeah, you know how they are. On January 7th of 2015, the theater at Disney California Adventure began operating as the Crown Jewel Theater and presented for the first time in forever a Frozen Sing-Along Celebration, a musical stage show based on Frozen. The attraction operated until April 17th of 2016. The location was renamed to the Sunset Showcase Theater and began showing Walt Disney Picture Films previews in May of 2016. In April 2019, the Sunset Showcase Theater began showing Mickey's PhilharMagic. The California Adventure location closed on November 1st of 2014 in what was originally supposed to be a temporary closure, but in May of 2015, Disney confirmed that the attraction's closure was permanent. For the 2017 season, the Hollywood Studios location received a new entrance. The original Kermit sign was removed and it was replaced with a new theater marquee sign, and the name of the theater was changed to Grand Arts Theater. In 2019, the original mural with Kermit and Miss Piggy from the Muppet movie was removed from the building's side exterior and was repainted to match the rest of the area's color scheme. I'm not obviously going to get into how the ride or the attraction, works in this video. This is not what this video is about. This is about whether or not it really is going to be gone forever. So let's just move on to that. Let's understand why people are scared of Muppet Vision 3D being closed. At D23, Disney's Experience presentation, the company announced that a new roller coaster based on Monsters, Inc. will be coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and it wasn't really specified where it would go, so that's why everyone started picking apart the concept art they released as clues for the location, because people are assuming that they're going to replace Muppet 3D Vision with this. So, here are the reasons why it may be closing. Like I said before, Disney released two pieces of concept art of the attraction's exterior, but with somewhat different surroundings. One piece shows the Monsters, Inc. building in a compact cityscape. The placement of the surrounding buildings does suggest that it is intended to be a grand adventure. The water tower to the left of the main building resembles the one on top of Pise Rizzo, and the building immediately to the tower's left does look similar, though not identical, to the restaurant's entrance. Through the trees, what looks like an awning or marquee is visible, which would align with the entrance. If this is indeed Grand Adventure, or Avenue, I don't know why I said Adventure, I'm so sorry, I really am still sick. The block next to the Stock Don't Stalk sign would line up with the one just steps from the Muppet Vision entrance, adjacent to the pathway to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And to cap it all off, the brickwork on the ground is identical to what's currently in Grand Avenue. From this piece, it looks like there's a possibility that Muppet Vision 3D, Pise Rizzo, and all of Grand Avenue could be on the chopping block. The second piece gives me far more hope that Kermit and the gang might not be done yet. The concourse is far wider than the first, with a park replacing the buildings on the left-hand side. The attraction entrance is much larger as well. It's extremely unlikely that they could build a parking lot of this scale on Grand Avenue. This looks more like Animation Courtyard, currently home to Star Wars Launch Bay, while Disney Presents, Disney Junior Play and Dance, and the upcoming live show The Little Mermaid and Musical Adventure, scheduled to debut this fall. Granted, there's a chance that Walt Disney Presents could survive, even if the ride were put in here, as it's further from the concourse depicted in the art than the other attractions, which would be nice considering the man's name is in the name of the park. Just saying. Would Disney scrap a new show deep in development? It's possible, but just as I assume Muppet Vision 3D is staying open until I hear otherwise, it's only fair to feel the same way about the show. Unless we hear word that it's been cancelled, it's happening. But there is another fact to consider: the space both areas take up. As of Walt Disney World News Today's Shannon Ace pointed out, Animation County or Courtyard, I don't know why I can't spell, has more space to work with. Behind the courtyard is cast member parking and offices, which are reportedly soon to be inaccessible, suggesting that the work could be taking place there. Damn, those poor employees. Meanwhile, to build that Grand Avenue, you pretty much have to use the space you have. Unlike Animation Courtyard, which is in front of backstage areas, Muppet Vision borders Cypress Drive, a service road that lines the perimeter of most of the park. Inside the park, it's also right next to Star Wars Galaxy Edge. If they have to build out, they wouldn't really have anywhere to go that wouldn't impact the infrastructure of their dining and shopping options. From my perspective, the writer's perspective, Animation Courtyard makes more sense if the coaster requires a large building. But that's just one fan's opinion. One fan that really wants Muppet Vision to stay open. I do too. I haven't been there, but I do too. Of course, it could also be in another location. Concept art isn't a guarantee of what will be. That's my whole point. We don't know anything for sure at this juncture in time. So with all that said, what can we as fans do about it? Well, as I said earlier, it's unfair to assume that Muppet Vision 3D is closing until we hear otherwise, and so far we haven't. But I also don't think we should be complacent. Now isn't the time to panic, but it's the time to act. Until they announce the location, we can make our voices heard and let Disney know how important this attraction is to us. Unfortunately, online petitions aren't likely to do much, and Disney Experiences doesn't have the public email address we can write to. And at this point, I will ask everyone reading this and everyone in this video that if you do find an email address for anybody upper management, please do not share it. Doxing people is not the way to convince anyone of doing anything good. Please don't do that. On the bright side, Walt Disney World does have an email form you can use. Just be sure to use the guest services category so that it hopefully gets to the right department. And if you need inspiration, the person who wrote this article, which I'll link down below, might be able to help with that. Or just be sure to comment whenever Disney Parks makes a post on social media. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube. The more that people speak up, the harder we are to ignore, so get active. Them tough pigs, which is the people who are the website or whatever, will be sure to report on any updates to this story. After all, the only thing that should destroy Muppet Vision 3D is the Swedish chef and his cannon.